After I decided to watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners in the summer of 2022, I decided to dive into the world of Cyberpunk 2077. And even though I haven't made any content on the game, I have over 350 hours with multiple playthroughs, and I have done every main mission, side mission, gig, NCPD, hidden quest, you name it, on top of earning every iconic weapon in the game. Saying I have knowledge and insight about the game is a massive understatement, and this video will be a guide for any new or veteran Chumbos who want to understand Update 2.0, all the changes with that before Phantom Liberty comes out. To start off the video, we're going to talk about anybody who is just starting the game or anyone who wants to start a new playthrough. So, as you know, with most video games, there are difficulty levels, and with Cyberpunk, you have easy, normal, hard, and very hard. Personally, if you're just starting out or just want to have fun, I'd recommend normal, but if you want to give yourself more of a challenge, definitely hard, and if you want to go crazy, definitely put on very hard. Next, you get to choose V's life path. Now, you get three options. You either have Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo. This is kind of the backstory for V, and it does give you different dialogue options throughout the story. Personally, I like the Corpo route myself, but I recommend playing all three because each are interesting. Next, you get to choose V's body type, aka do you go with a male character or a female character? Now, honestly, there really isn't any major differences throughout the game. The only difference being is your romance options throughout the game. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, so definitely pick your choice wisely. Next, you can go through and set V's appearance, basically change like eye color, skin tone, hair, pretty much everything about the character, tattoos, cyberware, all that great jazz, and then you get to dive into your attributes. Now, note we will be talking about attributes in the skill tree at a deeper level, but note you also get 7 points to put into your stats before you even hop to the game, so you can kind of choose how you want to play. Now, let's dive into attributes, the skill tree, and skill progression. So, if you come over here, you go into your inventory, go over to your character, you can actually see all of your attributes. Now, on top of the 7 attribute points that you get before even starting the game, you get an attribute point per level. So, with the base game in Update 2.0, you will have level 50, so you get 50 more attribute points to take advantage of. And with Phantom Liberty, that level will be increased to 60, so that means you'll have 10 more attribute points to put into here. And note, with Phantom Liberty, we'll have the relic like skill tree, so keep that in mind. And then with perk points, again, just play the game. You earn perk points by getting through your skill progression, which we'll talk about later, and then also just increasing your level and your street cred on top of, improving any of your attributes. So let's talk about the attributes. First up, going over body. Body determines your raw physical power and fortitude. Again, you do get +2 max health per attribute point here. So again, the higher your body, the more health that you get. Next up, reflexes. Reflexes determine your maneuverability and ability to evade enemy attacks. You do get 0.5% crit chance per attribute point. Crit chance is huge in this game. Next, we have technical. Technical ability determines your techie know-how. You get +2 armor per attribute point. Armor is going to play a big role in survivability in this game as well. Next up, we have cool. Cool determines your assassination skills and stealth abilities. If you want to be, a little more low-key character, you want to do those stealth options for pretty much every mission, this is going to be a huge one for you. You do get +1.25 crit damage per attribute point. And lastly, we have intelligence. Intelligence determines your net running abilities. Again, this helps with, hacking opponents, hacking cameras, turrets, basically gives you all those options with your cyber deck. You do get +1 max RAM per 4 attribute points. Note, RAM is what allows you to hack targets. Again, you basically use RAM to use your quick hacks. Now let's talk about the skill tree changes in Update 2.0. So your attribute points directly affect what basically grade of skills that you can get. So first up, you're going to need 4 attributes to unlock this bottom tree here. You're going to need 9 for the second section, 15 for the third, and 20 for these pretty much ultimate skills that you could take advantage of. Each attribute focuses on 3 different skill tree sections. So first up, under body, this determines basically your health regen, how all that stuff works, on top of adrenaline rush, which is a new mode. On the left side here, we have a specific focus on shotguns, LMGs, and HMG. So if you're going to be using those heavy style weapons, this is going to be huge. And on the right side here, it focuses on blunt weapons, baseball bats, hammers, gorilla arms, anything like that. So if you're going to be using any of those, be sure to take advantage of these. I do recommend speccing into the health a little bit, at least the bottom ones here. Next up, going over reflexes. Again, reflexes focuses on maneuverability, so being able to reload your weapons while sprinting, shoot while sprinting, increase slide distance, vault faster, have a dash, in-air dash. Basically, all the stuff in the middle section allows for faster movement. On the left side, we have a specific focus on assault rifles and SMGs. So if you're going to be using those weapons, definitely focus on this left side. And then on the right side, we have a specific focus on blades, samurai swords, machetes, anything like that. They added some new perks in here, like being able to block bullets, which is freaking awesome. So again, if you want to focus on any of these, definitely hop into it. I do at least recommend, hitting this middle section here for dash, for reflexes, just so you have some maneuverability options. Under technical ability in this middle section, we have a specific focus on cyberware, being able to have faster cyberware cooldown, bonus stat modifiers, more armor, allowing you to put even more cyberware onto your body without, going crazy, essentially. Pretty much allows you to put on better gear with little to no repercussions. And note, we will be talking about cyberware later in the video. Next up on the left side, we have a specific focus on health items and grenades, being able to improve those as well. And, the projectile launch system, the arms, you can focus on that as well. And then on the right side here, up in this little section, we have a specific focus on tech weapons. So if you want to use those, you are going to have to get at least, 15 attribute to unlock this portion, and then 20 to unlock the top. Under cool, again, this is the focus on silence and assassination. Basically, if you want to play it quiet, you don't want to go in guns blazing. Again, in the middle section here, we have stuff that's focused around crouch speed, mitigation chance. Basically the higher mitigation chance, the less that you can be seen, which is good. Crouch sprinting now as well, and a couple other options. On the bottom right here, you have specific stuff that gives you bonuses to basically any silenced weapons or using weapons out of combat. We also have specific focus on throwable weapons. Throwing knives, axes can be thrown now, which is hilarious. So if you're going to be using throwing knives, you definitely want to take advantage of any of these skill trees over here. Also affects poison levels as well. And then on the left side, we have a specific focus on pistols, revolvers, precision rifles, and sniper rifles. So again, if you're going to be using any of those weapons, you definitely want to focus on this left side. Under intelligence, you have a specific focus on netrunner abilities and quick hacks. So if you are going to be using the cyber deck, highly recommend speccing into this skill tree. So in the middle section here, we have a specific focus on basically RAM recovery, quick hack damage, improved quick hacks, the new overclock mode. So you can take advantage of that. On the left side, this is basically, reducing RAM cost, has an increased duration for your quick hacks, quick hack Qs, increase RAM, and then also monowire finishers. So again, that is for the arm. So if you want to use the monowire, there are definitely bonuses here for that. Then on the right side, you have a specific focus on smart weapons. So if you're going to be using any smart weapons, you can take advantage of that on the right side here. Now also note, each skill section actually has bonuses to vehicles now. So you can actually spec into those. All you need is 4 attribute points to get access to each one in the bottom sections here, and you can take advantage of them. Next, let's talk about the changes to skill progression. Now, it used to be tied to how high your attribute points were. So if I have 20 technical, I could get up to 20 on my skill progression, basically added bonuses, but they changed it to where it's determined by level now. As long as you do certain actions for each thing, you will get higher on that certain skill progression, and you get certain bonuses. For Headhunter, again, this is focused mostly on reflexes, giving you increased headshot damage, decreased visibility, optical camo bonuses. Again, Netrunner, this is tied to intelligence. The more you use your quick hacks, hacking enemies, cameras, whatever, you get more skills here. Shinobi is focused on cool. So again, if you get a lot of kills with no combat enabled, basically you could take out a whole squad without getting noticed, you get bonuses to Shinobi. Solo is focused on the body, basically as long as you kill enemies with shotguns, LMGs, your gorilla arms, you get bonuses to this. Engineer is for technical, again, any tech weapons, grenades, the projectile launch on the arm, basically anything like that gives you bonuses here, using your cyberware, all that. Next, let's talk about the changes to cyberware, because there are some pretty significant changes. You can't be absolutely OP anymore, but there is a lot of ways that you can be super broken. So let's go to the Ripper doc here. Now, the main difference with cyberware is that now each piece of gear has its own cyberware capacity, so you can only have a limited amount of gear on. So you definitely need to make some solid choices in regards to what you want to use on your modifications. The second thing is armor, which is determined by your skeleton and your integumentary systems, which again are right here in this section on the left and the bottom left over here. Essentially, the better a piece of gear is, the higher it will be on your cyberware. So example, paint editor here, it's a minus 7% to all incoming damage. So again, that knocks out 28 out of my 200 and technically 52 on my cyberware capacity. The reason I have this section up here is because I have the Edge Runner perk, which allows you to exceed your cyberware capacity, but you do end up losing health. So again, as you can see, my max health is reduced by 85 and I have Fury Chance, which is basically cyber psychosis. Now, if you're a veteran or a returning player, you note that you cannot specifically mod out your arms, your optics, or your operating system anymore. Now, if you want a different element type for, projectile launch system, for example, I would have to get the thermal projectile launch system if I want to do, thermal damage. Same thing with Mantis Blades, Gorilla Arms, and Monowire. Under the optics, you actually have different optics for different things. Some are better for, camera detection speed. Again, your cool attribute. Same thing with these Kuroshi Oracle optics, basically highlights enemies, camera stirs, does everything, focuses on the body. I have these Doomslayer ones, so pretty much you can focus on specific optics. Now, the operating system under your cyberware is going to play a huge part in how you play the game. So you pretty much have three options. First up, starting with the cyber deck. This is kind of what you start out with in the beginning of the game, and you can get improved cyber decks. Again, this allows you more quick hacks, more damage, certain bonuses to certain types of quick hacks. So again, each cyber deck has its own little bonuses and its changes, so keep that in mind with which one you choose. Next up, we have the San Devistan Classic. If you've seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners, this is what David Martinez uses. Again, this slows down time, gives bonus damage, to headshots, damage fall off. Each one has different bonuses to it, so just keep that in mind. And then lastly, you have Berserk. Again, Berserk is pretty much just like a crazy version of what you're already doing. Again, bonus attack speed, no stamina cost, less, fall damage, allows you to actually do the superhero landing. You can include blunt weapons with that. So if you're someone who wants to go in, start punching, run and gun, the Berserk is definitely what you want. Now, a new thing they added is that you can actually upgrade each piece of cyberware. So if you look on our monowire here, it's tier 5. We can actually upgrade it to tier 5 plus. Again, we have our crafting materials up here. So since this is, tier 5, I have to use the highest, ranked components. So again, you can craft these in your inventory, which we'll talk about crafting later. So if I want to upgrade these, I can hold the upgrade, and then it gives me different bonuses and stats for each one. So if I want to focus on a specific build, again, I can just add that here and upgrade these. Next, going over equipment and crafting changes. So under weapons, not really much has changed. For some iconic weapons, you cannot put any mods on. Revolvers can't have silencers now. There's a couple other minor differences in that regard, but overall, weapons haven't really changed. Under your clothing options, you can honestly rock whatever you want now. It is not determined by armor. Again, armor is determined by your cyberware now, so you can use whatever you want. We still do have transmog under outfits, which is really good. Certain armor pieces do give, plus 25 to armor. Again, I have this, bulletproof Arasaka vest here, but most of them don't come with any, bonuses or anything like that, so you can rock whatever you'd like here. Now for crafting, it used to be up here on the top left, but now it is down here. Again, you can still craft and upgrade weapons, but now it is determined on if you actually have the item components for this and the blueprint. It used to be based on your technical skill, and you had to have like technical 18 to even craft any of these, legendary iconic weapons or anything like that, which was a pain in the butt. But now it's determined on if you've pretty much gotten the blueprint for it, or if you have the select mods to be able to craft certain items here, which is a huge change. Now, in regards to upgrading weapons, you can take a tier 3 weapon to a tier 3 plus, and then after tier 3 plus, you can actually take it up to tier 4 iconic, which makes it a whole different variant. Now that we're on my 4th playthrough with my recent character, let's talk about the different mission types. First up, starting with main missions. Again, you can tell these by the yellow with the black exclamation point on the screen. This is what pretty much drives the story forward, so if you want to get through the game as quickly as possible, you could totally do so, but note, each main mission does get harder with tougher enemies, so I do recommend doing the other mission types to improve your cyberware, get some better weapons, etc. Next, let's talk about side missions. Those are determined by the black circle with the yellow exclamation point. Again, these are side gigs. These are not absolutely necessary to do, but I do recommend doing a couple in each section before progressing the main story, because some of it does give you other, options during the main story, on top of being able to give you access to some iconic weapons, new relationships, stuff like that. Next, let's talk about gigs. So in each borough, you're going to have a different person assign you different gigs. As you can tell up here in Watson, the place where you start out at, I have all 23 gigs completed with Regina Jones here, and then I just started out doing Wakako's here. But pretty much, gigs are quick and easy missions. They have a different variety of things, whether it's wiping out, enemies, rescuing people, stealing data, and there are certain bonuses if you do complete the optional things, so you can get extra money out of it. They do give a giant boost to street cred and a good amount of XP to your level, so if you're trying to increase those, that is one big way to do it. Next, let's talk about cyber psycho sightings. Again, these are people who have gone cyber psycho. They have went past that cyberware limit and have just gone completely insane. Note, these enemies are kind of tough, but if you can set it up right with the right situations or catch them off guard, you can just pretty much neutralize them. Note that you will return to Gina after taking on all these cyber psychos, and if you really want to do a perfected run, make sure to only knock them out, do not kill them, and Regina gives you a little bonus. Next, let's talk about these little blue things, which is the NCPD helps. Again, suspect of organized crime, assault in progress. If you do these, you do get bonuses to your street cred, and your level is pretty much free stuff as well. You also get bonus shards for certain skill trees, your skill progression. There are chances for that to happen, which, again, there are a lot of them, so you will be able to progress those very quickly, on top of being able to have some exclusive gear and blueprints that you can only get through NCPD. So I do recommend completing every single one of them if you can. It's going to be a huge bump to your character. Next, I want to talk about the police system changes. Now, the main thing to note is that the police do not play around now. They will show up and just start blasting you. It's not like, you know, you have a couple guys show up, you take those guys out, another couple guys show up, and you can keep up the 4 stars indefinitely. Now, there is a 5th star where Max Tack will show up, and let me tell you, these guys do not play around. If you see the Max Tack Mantis guy, you better run for it. That guy is tough. Now, leading from the police system, I want to talk about vehicle combat and chases. So now certain vehicles can actually have guns on them as well, and you will be pursued by the police if you are in a vehicle. They will chase you down, they will shoot you, they will blow up your car. And note, on Tuesday with Phantom Liberty, we will get vehicle missions, endless events, and car missile launchers as well, which is going to be completely broken. The one thing with NCPD and like the combat with that is that they actually try to knock you off the road. They bring in, you know, roadblocks and stuff like that. They basically aren't playing around. It's a lot more realistic than it used to be. And lastly, I just want to talk about Phantom Liberty. Note, we do get the new district of Dogtown, which is down by Pacifica. We get the new storyline with Idris Elba playing Solomon Reed. You know, I already talked about the vehicle missions and whatnot. The relic skill tree will be added. We also get new side quests, gigs, and boss fights. 100 plus new items, a level cap of 60, and if you played The Witcher and Gwent, you actually get certain swag in the game. The graphic that I just showed you, I'm actually going to put the link on Twitter, give the guy credit for this, because this is a very comprehensive list of everything that's happened with Cyberpunk, with the update, and what's coming in Phantom Liberty. No, I will be streaming Phantom Liberty here on YouTube starting on Tuesday when it drops. I want to play immediately. I want to dive into the new story and basically show off all the new stuff that we got. On top of that, we will be making build videos. You know, if you like Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I have a David Martinez build pretty much ready to go with different options. Also have a Lucy build that I'm working on, a Ninja build, a Silence Netrunner build. Trust me, we have plenty of stuff coming here on the channel in regards to Cyberpunk. In any event, if what you saw was valuable or entertaining, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn the bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on any other videos here on the channel. And lastly, if you want to support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. If you don't know what a membership is essentially like a Twitch subscription. Again, you're going to get access to the exclusive emotes, the monthly badges, and other cool stuff here on the channel that you can take advantage of in the comments and in live streams. So if you want more information, all you have to do is press the join button next to subscribe, and that will give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next one. Choo!